Welcome to Inside Style. I am your host, George Worrell, and thank you for tuning in today. Today on Inside Style, I am excited to welcome three talented young designers from Howard University's Fashion Design Program. Miss Reina Sterling, Miss Camille Calhoun, and Mr. Dorian Hamilton. All three of them are already making their mark on the fashion world with their creativity, vision, and dedication to their craft. They represent a new generation of style and innovators who I am thrilled to be able to share their stories today. Welcome to Inside Style.
Thank you.
What's happening?
We're excited to be here.
Oh my God. And I've been, I had to apologize earlier. You were supposed to come a few months ago, and we had some issues with programming, but I am happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell me, where do you hail from? Where do you from?
I am a junior fashion design major, business administration minor from Brooklyn, New York. So yes, Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
And I've always been interested in fashion, got into it because of my mom, and I'm just trying to get into it. Yeah.
Just do it. How about you?
I'm Dorian Hamilton, a junior fashion major from Indianapolis, Indiana.
One of our producers is from Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
Jessica, I think,
Yeah.
right, Shane? Yeah, and she's out on maternity leave, but
another Hoosier,
Yeah.
But I would say I haven't always been into fashion per se, but just I've been into the design aspect of things and putting things together. I would say learning how to sew at a young age by my grandmother really taught me the meticulousness in fashion and just really design overall.
How about you, Camille?
Well, I'm a junior fashion design major, business administration minor from Snellville, Georgia, which is like Metro Atlanta area.
Okay.
I've also always been interested in fashion. My grandmother was a seamstress, and so we really connected on having that creative mind. Like, none of the rest of my family, they're all like math science people.
Okay.
And so she really kind of pushed me to follow that creativity. And so that's why I'm here today.
Oh my God, yeah, I love it. So we talked earlier about why you chose Howard.
Yes.
Tell our listeners and our viewers, what is it that you're getting, not only from your program, but being at a major Black institution at Howard? Whoever wants to start?
I feel like the perspective that we get from our classes is really different than, say, if I were to go to a PWI for fashion. One of the things that stood out to me freshman year with our fashion history classes, design history was very oriented around the African American experience. So that was really fun to see, because I know if I would have went to a PWI, it would be a very different story that I was hearing. So it's nice to get that perspective.
Is that something you thought about as well?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking about like fashion illustration, even like the small things about having curvier models instead of, straight up and down. Like, literally, I think that was one thing that our professor was like really pushing onto us. Like, hey, like bodies, like all bodies don't look straight up and down. Like, especially Black bodies, we have more curve. Like, hips are wider. Like, waists might be smaller, or like round all around. Like, so I think that kind of push to like represent more bodies was really kind of, I was really appreciative of, and that's something that I carry out through all my designs. So.
Had you thought about that before you?
No.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, because when you see, like, when you look up fashion croquis, it's all like straight up and down models that have like really long legs, thin bodies. And so when we started like sketching, she was like, no, that's too thin. You need to give her some more body in there. Yeah. And so I love that. I love that about my HBCU.
Because it was a surprise to me that the average size for a woman is a 12.
Yes.
But when you look at Madison Avenue, they're telling you in these magazines that it's 0 to 6, and it's not.
It's
not. How was your experience when you first got there to say?
I would say, to piggyback off of what both of my classmates said, whether it be the history that we learned or the even drawing the croquis models. There's one experience I really appreciated, which was the indigo dyeing that we did, and how we learned the history that enslaved people in America would like farming indigo and dyeing it, and just the processes and how those processes have evolved till up until now. It was just very interesting to learn that aspect of history that I probably wouldn't have learned at another institution.
So we also talked about your internship. So it's not just about classes. What is it that keeps you going while you're thinking about your design, while you're learning? Because you're all juniors, right? You'll graduate in 2027.
Yes.
What is it? What inspires you? What inspires you to say, hey, I want to, you draw. So your illustrations, I see yours. What inspires you?
I think my biggest inspiration at first was definitely my mom, seeing she has a business, Hip Hop Closet, and so it's nice to see her as my kind of role model. And then also when I started getting familiar with the industry, seeing other designers definitely inspired me a lot. So I like to pick things from people and bring it into my aesthetic.
Is that on a daily or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. How about you?
I mean, I feel like we're all inspired by what we see around us. I find that I'm often, like, in all of my designs, I pull in, like, floral elements for some reason. It's something that, I don't know, brings in, like, femininity into my designs. And so nature is what I'm really inspired by, I guess. And kind of, like, being connected to nature and, like, instead of, because we live in a very, like, industrial world. So noticing like these little flowers and like greenery and all these like beautiful colors that nature does have, I think is really important to bring back like to the eye, especially in fashion. So I would say I'm really inspired by just taking the breath instead of, the go of everything.
Okay, so that kind of a slow down.
Yeah.
I would say family as well, but Camille stole mine. It's nature. I'm pretty inspired by nature as well, but really animals. I mean, I do a lot of work with fur and leather and exotic skins, so I just really like to use those different elements to create a piece of art, really, and it's just I think animals are very awesome. And just being able to use them in a way that's artistic.
Did all of this start, like, you're young, but younger? Like, so I remember, like, as a kid, going to school with Abraham Lincoln. But, the Lucy show, the I Love Lucy show was on. And they had this episode where it was a fashion show, right? So everybody's looking for the joke and everything, but I was critiquing the fashion show at like 9 years old. Like, I wouldn't have wore that. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. That dress is too long. My mom's looking at me, but she's like, yeah. But it's so inspiring that you and your parents are behind what you're doing. It makes it all that more thrilling when you have someone that is behind your dreams. Do you believe that this is a dream for you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, it feels like a dream come true, honestly, because, I mean, of course it takes a lot of hard work and, like, effort to get to this point. Like, growing up, I think, like, my younger self, like, seeing myself now would be like, oh, my gosh, like, we actually did it, like, we're here. And, of course, like, still continuing to grow and, like, learn new things, teach yourself new things, and just on the journey. Just appreciating the journey.
What's the hardest part about this?
I would say
or is there?
It is, I would say just in general, just sticking to the dream. The hardest part is sticking to it. I mean, just not really getting into your head, listening to those
the committee,
those thoughts that
the committee.
Like,
that's what we call it in your mind.
Just those negative thoughts that just you shouldn't really be listening to. I would say just it's hard to keep going, but you have to. You have to. So
somebody said to me when we started the show, Neighborhood Favorites, and we were in the middle of shooting and funding and all these other kinds of things, and I called my friend in New York and I said, Lenore, I can't do this anymore. Like, and she said to me, what else would you do?
I like that.
And I thought,
right?
Yeah, like, wait a
What
minute.
else would I do? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I fried chicken really well.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
all these things, but it was a moment when you know what you're destined to do. Whether if the money's coming in or
Yeah.
we're artists.
Yes.
Have you thought about that? Have you thought about I'm an artist?
I'm
like
an
Yeah.
artist, yeah.
This is who I am.
yeah, that's who I am. Yeah. So how do you, when you say, do you feel that you need to fit that fashion mold? Because I've seen on the inside and the outside, and I briefly told you guys when I was working in New York at a major department store that I felt it was a factory. And I felt we're all here of color that our due and our appreciation was not. And the people who made the decisions, the major decisions about what we saw, what we buy, were not made by people of color, right? But we were there selling everything, but we weren't in the decision making. So you're the future. What are your thoughts about that? We'll start with Dorian. What are your thoughts about going forward and in an atmosphere that really hasn't changed that much? It keeps repeating. What is your strategy for that, or your thoughts?
I feel like you have to work in it and work around it. I feel like you have to find how to maneuver within that system and then also how to break out of it in a way, because I feel like if you go in there trying to be
Moving things around.
it won't work out when you first get there, but you have to kind of evolve within that system and then move it around once you are able to get up to that level, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you think your gifts will make room for you?
I mean, they have to. They have to.
Have you ever heard that before?
No, but I love that.
Right.
I love that.
I heard that from Bishop T.D. Jakes many years ago.
Okay.
He said your gifts will make room for you. That there are things. He says you should have at least 2 to 3 things. If I'm paraphrasing, that you should do well. And if you're not getting it, we're talking about money sources. If you're not getting it from one, you're getting it from the other.
Okay.
So, I know the things that I do well, and if it's not collaborative, it's coming out of, one or the other. But your gifts, gifts,
Right.
all in one.
Yes.
Yeah, do you believe that?
Yes. I mean, like I said, they've got to. I've heard that people, like on the internet, I've heard like, oh, I've worked too hard not to have a result. Like I've done this, like I've put in the effort, I've like put in everything that I can, like I've done my best. There's no way that there can be no result.
And it's like I wouldn't be brought this far just
to get this far.
Just to be left, here hanging. So right.
And that opportunities.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree. I feel like
Are they stealing all of your
I guess I'll just add on. I agree. We've worked so hard already. It would be a shame to just like abandon our dreams at this point. So all you can really do is keep working and keep going at it.
Does the support system at your at Howard address the world as a whole that you're leaving? Do you feel protected there? Let's start there. Do you feel protected in that?
In the sense like that, it's a I definitely feel like it's a safe place for us to express and be as artists, of course. But yeah, I feel like it is preparing us
for what's that it
for
will
that.
not.
Yeah.
It's almost like leaving home, right?
Right, it is, right.
Like what was at home is not going to possibly be what's out there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that the odds, sometimes we talk about the dream, we talk about the talent and all of those kinds of things, but when you're going out, there are forces that may not want you to succeed. There are things that that you will have to protect. Your writings, your designs, all those kinds of things. Do you feel that that's part of your learning process of being able to armor yourself for the things that may not be so positive?
Yeah. I feel like to go back to what you said, do we feel protected? I feel like choosing Howard was definitely a great decision in the sense that the people I've met, the connections I've made, even my professors, Dr. Stevens has been a great advisor, and she's definitely created a safe space for us to explore before we go out and graduate and go out into the world.
Yeah, especially Dr. Stevens. She's very real.
She is.
Very real.
Okay.
She'll sit you down and be like, okay, this is good, but it needs to be better.
Yeah.
And I think that type of atmosphere about it being safe to be make mistakes and improve means that when you do leave home, when you do leave Howard, you're stacked with that armor. You're prepared. Okay, if I know what to do when this happens, or I know how to proceed when this obstacle arises. So I think, especially since the fashion department is small, we have to really get that connection and that armor
quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
It seems like you all are very close. Are you?
For the most part, yeah, because it's such a small program. I think there's not even 10 in our class, fashion
we're
students.
Always together.
And so, yeah, exactly. We're always in
all
the
the same
classes
classes.
together.
Yeah, and supportive of each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, of
Struggling
course.
on the same homework and all the things that we have to. It's just So we, just communicate regularly, and it's really built that bond that I feel like we kind of came to Howard for.
Yeah.
We met last year at
Dress for
Success.
Success.
How was that for you this year? Let's talk about that for a minute, because it was great where you explain that for our listeners, that you took fabrics that were donated and made outfits. How was that for you?
So basically they give you, there's a whole bunch of clothes that you can pick from, and then you deconstruct them and make them into something new. So it's all about sustainability. We've all done that 3 years in a row now, and we're gonna do it for the fourth.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Finish out.
But yeah. What do you feel about the sustainability? Because that was new to me.
Yeah.
About sustainability in fashion. Let's get your views about that.
I would say it's definitely important because there are so many, whether it be people not getting paid enough money for the labor that they're doing overseas, or if it's just how much we're throwing out going into the ocean, into landfills, killing animals, and all the different aspects of that. It's something that we really need to pay attention to. The brands need to pay attention to, and just when we are constructing our garments and pieces that we're doing, it's definitely a thing we need to look at.
And many people might not know this, but the fashion industry is one of the largest contributors to the environmental crisis. So designers taking that initiative and being, okay, how can we continue to create amazing and brilliant things while keeping in mind our environmental impact. And so that is really what Dress for Success is about, the sustained fashion show, putting in front of people's eyes, you don't have to buy, you don't have to consume everything. You can go into your closet and create something new. Really, that is the core of the show, including the audience as well into that experience of you don't have to be a designer to do this. You can be a person and contribute to this.
Contribute to that.
Yes.
Into shopping and all those kinds of things. So, do you all have time for a social life?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, what is that? Is that
That's
in
a
existence?
difficult
Is that
question.
I actually did want to bring that up when you said what's the most difficult part of this all. I feel like balancing everything is so hard. You have classwork, you have internships, and you want to have a social life. So it's hard to figure out, how do I balance everything? What priorities do I have to have? And it's really difficult.
Especially because this major is so time consuming. Just a design, I feel like anything that has to do with design and just making things with your hands, all the processes and order of operations that it takes to get to the outcome, it takes so long, and so it is very hard to manage your social life and just your time overall. It is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people when they hear like, "Oh, you're a fashion design major," they're like, "Oh, so you just sit at your sewing machine
Yeah.
all day."
You don't really do much.
And it's like, no. Come into my room and see me on all fours cutting my fabric. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like everyone said, it is very like this art, this craft is very time consuming.
And meticulous.
And yes,
Yeah,
especially
you have to be exact.
you got to be detail oriented.
Yeah.
So
And then the schoolwork of it, the
Yes.
exams,
yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
that season already? Or you
It
guys-
is,
yeah,
it
in a
is.
couple weeks.
In a couple weeks, so you
Yes.
have all that too, because you just finished the thing with Dress for Success, right?
Yes, 2
Okay.
weeks ago.
So then you go right into exams and then
Finals.
Yep.
finals, but then you're going home for.
Yes.
Yeah. So we go
A little
home
month, a
Okay.
little bit,
and then
almost.
come back for finals.
Okay,
and
what do you do when you go home?
then,
What do you do when you go home?
Well, for Thanksgiving, since it's so short, I'm just gonna relax. But over
real.
winter break, since it's a longer break, I'm glad that we have a whole month off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopefully gonna, I like the garment district in New York much better than like there's no garment district here. So hopefully get some.
Well, that's something you should be
stuff
thinking
in.
about. Like when we talked about this earlier, I've always have been taught what is not being filled that I can fill,
Yeah.
right? So why isn't there a garment district? I was on the fashion council here. That's something that people can think about. Is it something that I can do after graduation? Is it something that I can add to? The world is an oyster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is, and even at my grand old age, I think about that every day, about being able to be inspired. My inspiration is my Tumblr page. And I have all the things of lifestyle, meaning furniture and clothing. That's what inspires me when I'm like thinking about what the next move is going to be. For you all, so you're in your junior year. Have you started thinking about after college? Do you want to sell online? Do you want a boutique? What are those thoughts? Are you starting to put those things together? What is going to be your money source? Let's have
Go
that
around the
discussion.
Yeah.
Because it's never too early to think about it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
never
yeah,
is.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
start early, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested in fashion education.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to expand fashion education and opportunities for younger designers. When I was growing up, there were no opportunities in my area, so it was like really difficult to like find that opportunity to feel like, oh, this can be a reality. And so I feel like providing those opportunities and giving that chance to other designers is really, really important to create a flourishing, industry and to continue to influence people to follow their dreams, follow that path. And on while that is going on, I want to create my own business, selling online, which is something that I have been doing over the years, you've seen on my Instagram and things like that. But yeah, continuing that process of teaching myself, teaching others, and growing, of course.
Always growing. My dream, I would say, is to honestly have my own business, to be able to, like I said, I work with furs and leathers. I would like to specialize in that craft, and even outside of fashion, do interiors. If somebody
wants a chair covered
a
in
mink upholstered couch, they would come to me, or alligator skin bar stools or something. I would like to get into that, just whole the design as a whole, just to get into that and have, again, like I said, have my own studio and storefront and be able to just
exactly. Small and cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How about you?
Originally it was just my main goal was fashion designer, but over the past few years I've been increasingly interested in costume design. I think what was the final push that made me super interested was after seeing Wicked and learning about Paul Tazwell and seeing all his work.
First
I'm
African American to win an Oscar. For his work.
I feel like I think I want to go into costume design. So I think post-grad, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
And so right now I'm just trying to get my foot in the door.
Yeah, and making those connections.
Yes.
And that's where you would volunteer, like
Yes.
on a set, design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. So I'm just inspired by you all being here and the generation, not the next, you're already here, about doing what you love. I also want to encourage you. We hear negative things about people in your age group and younger. And I think for all of us, the arts can help turn all of that around. And it's for you all to be able to be there as a beacon of light. And what you said about developing maybe a curriculum at
Yes.
DOES where the Marion Barry Summer Youth Program kids can come, learn about fur, learn about leather, learn about costume design, learn about design. That's what we do,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amen?
Amen.
Yes. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to, for our listeners and viewers to know, where can we find you on social media, Reina?
My Instagram is _by Reina,
Mhm.
BYREINA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 Instagrams. My first one is my first and last name, DORIEN.HAMILTON. And then the other business account is Dorian Hamilton FFC for Furs and Fine Clothing.
Love it.
So,
I also have 2 accounts. Personal, which is kind of, which I post like a lot of educational journey and things like that, is at Camille, CAMMI _Millie, MILLIE. And then my business account where you can get me for any, design purposes is Camille Liza, CAMILLEELIZA.by.Camille.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, I have been inspired by this conversation, and thank you for sharing your journeys and creativity, students here at Howard University. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in to Inside Style. And remember that real style starts with being comfortable in your own skin. I'm George Worrell. I'll see you next time.
thank you.